Dear editors, I understand that out of 100 of the submissions under consideration, 50 are from writers over 30. 30 are from authors of full-length books, and 10 have committed to creative writing as their lifelong devotion. For this, I'm honored my work has been selected to be part of your prestigious journal. I accept the terms and payment and thank you immensely for your time. Sincerely, Mason. Now this is the email I wrote to myself last April. At this time, I was a year deep into what became a sort of personal obsession, trying to publish my work in literary journals. Emphasis on trying. If you couldn't tell from the email, publishing in these journals isn't usually what a 15-year-old does with his time. These journals are competitive and often have acceptance rates of under 1%. What the email normally sounds like is this. To Mason, thank you for sending us your story. Unfortunately, we will not be able to use this work for our publication purposes. We wish you the best of luck in placing your story elsewhere. Sincerely, the editors. Point being, impersonal. A quick thank you or we wish you luck, and that's it. That email was from Vestal Review, the longest-running magazine for flash fiction. And the whole process, it seems to me, is like searching for something that can only be found by getting extremely lucky. It's like magic. The way I word it, publishing writing is like finding a unicorn. And I might as well get to searching. So I send them another story and wait another month. Then, on May 30th, rejection. I send them a different story. June 2nd, rejection. August 6th, sent out. August 17th, rejection. September 22nd, sent out. October 22nd, rejection. November 30th, sent out. December 1st, rejection. You get the idea. By now, I've received 8 rejections from the same place. And from others, I've probably received a total of 80. And each time a decision email pops up into my inbox, I get excited, then nervous, then I open it up and feel a tinge of disappointment. The question I'm asking myself is, what makes me think I'm different? Let's run the math. Vestal Review has published 63 issues, each with a select 5 to 15 stories each. That gets us to around 600 stories. Now, I'm scrolling through the archive, the massive archive, and I'm searching for any author who's under 18, and I find none. Covering my screen are people who've had the time to earn master's degrees, or receive nominations, or write a book, or 5 books. So I look at their stories, and then I read my own. I come across something I wrote a while ago. It's about 2 brothers who are forced to fight to the death. I reread it, and at first, I like it. Then I come to the last line, and I feel underwhelmed. The line goes, "The 2 brothers leaned against the tree with their eyes closed, one with their arm around the other." I'm resistant to changing the story. And of course I am. We protect what we love. We don't alter it. We choose a direction, and we stick with it. That's what resilience is, isn't it? And in this way, I am a unicorn hunter, shooting in the dark, getting lucky. In my mind, it was about ammunition, not aim. The story, as it is, gets accepted or doesn't. So 50% chance. And as I'm reading and rereading, and submitting and resubmitting, the moment begs the question. Even if I make changes, even if I make bad changes, what can I lose? So my finger begins on the backspace key. I start typing. I start rewriting. This is the moment. When I'm done, the line goes something like this. The sound of the shotgun cocking was heard as only a whisper, and the 2 skeletons leaned against the tree with their eyes closed and counted with him. I submit it like that, and I'm worried that revising my words made them worse, that I somehow diluted them. I'd press submit, and it became a waiting game from here. The question remained, would this time be any different? Let's fast forward a month. It's 6 a.m. in the morning, and it's dark outside. The first thing I do, before brushing my teeth or even getting out of bed, is open up my email. I can see there's a new message in my inbox, and it starts off with, "Dear Mason." I open it up. There's a short contract attached, and in the body of the email it says, "Congratulations, Mason. We would love to publish your story in Vestal Review." And what I realized is, unicorns don't exist. The turning point here is that I changed something I was passionate about, and I succeeded. But I didn't change my writing even though I loved it. I changed it because I loved it. This brings me back to something a wise person once said to me. You can care enough about something to defend the way it is, but the secret is to care enough to make it better. Another thing I realized was how much I actually loved writing. There's a certain rush to orienting each word. It's this part which brings me to the keyboard each day. I didn't love writing as a product, but as a process. I started viewing my work as a culmination of my resilience, my evolving ideas, and yes, even my rejections. Once I did this, I opened my mind to a world of new perspectives and new frontiers. Then, I had to learn how to accept feedback not just from myself, but from others. I started having my dad, then my brother, then my friends read my work before I submitted it, which was crucial in publishing later stories. When entering new territories, I'm challenged to overcome my ego and find those who can support me. If we're going with the unicorn analogy, consider this my hunting party. So, how does this apply outside of writing? Because I'm sure most of you aren't thrilled by the idea of spending an hour each day on Google Docs. For any difficult task, not just publishing as a youth writer, both passion and persistence are essential. But more than that, it takes a special openness towards growth. You could be struggling with your current work environment. In that case, caring enough to change would not be putting up with it, but rather talking to your team about coordinating new bonding activities or creating positive community guidelines. In a friendship, it could be letting them know if you're concerned about them and offering to help. As of today, I've received 197 rejections. I'm approaching 200. But more recently, I've been getting more deliberate with my submissions and probably receive rejections with personalized and encouraging feedback about half the time. I've been published in many more journals than I thought I ever could be. Other than Vestal Review, my work has appeared in Quarterly West, X-Ray, UCLA's Westwind, and Flash Fiction magazine. That story I first talked about, it got nominated for an anthology for the best microfiction of the year. So whatever you're doing, do it with a desire to improve. The accomplishments will come later. And what I realize about doing anything is that success is not luck. Success is love. So here is the story. Visualize this with me. You're hunting for unicorns through the forest, and eventually you happen across a cliff face. Now, there's a unicorn on the other side and a bridge in between, one of those old and rickety ones from the movies. Your eyes have to stay on the unicorn, so you remember why you're crossing that bridge in the first place. But you can't just jump across. If you don't take the time to look around you and adjust your next move, you'll miss the step and fall through. My advice, find your bridge and get walking. Thank you.